Grace to you and peace from God who was, who is, and who will be forever.
Amen.
Oh, I am so honored to be here today. And I can affirm that Gladys indeed should be installed today because I was here when you voted. So that was a wonderful day too, back in November. And it's a funny word, isn't it, install? I mean, it's something we do with appliances, our sound systems. When I was installed, the first time I was in a parish, actually some members of the council came in the procession with a ladder and some tools. Just to sort of play with that word. But there is something that's even a little more mysterious about this day than the word install. Is that even though Bishop Bartholomew has come to install Gladys Moore as the pastor, I'm here to tell you that it is the pastor and the people who are being installed. And it's just not my idea. I think that's what Isaiah was talking about in this wonderful chapter 42. This was a text that was read at Gladys Moore's her ordination, October 1984. She was very young at the time. And I can imagine, Gladys, that these words must have been so assuring to you as you waited to receive the stole. I have called you in righteousness. I have taken you by the hand and kept you. I have given you as a covenant to the people, a light to the nations. Now, scholars have argued for generations about who the servant really is. Was it one person or was it a whole group of people? Was it the people of Israel? Well, it seems to go back and forth. You can read whatever favorite commentator, or maybe you don't have a favorite commentator, maybe you don't even want one. But this is a big debate that's gone on. Sometimes it's clearly the whole people of Israel, my servant Israel. Sometimes it's clearly one person. When the followers of Jesus read the book of Isaiah, they said that Jesus was the servant. So it's confusing. It's actually wonderful. Because clearly the prophet is speaking not just to one person, but to a whole community of people. And that's really what we're here to do today. God is calling Gladys, but also this whole congregation. Not only that, but listen to how the text goes. God has created the heavens and the earth. God has called you. God has taken you by the hand. God has given you. All of those are past tense. And then there is at the end a shift. The former things have come to pass, and new things I now declare. St. John's people and Pastor Moore are going to do things that have never happened here before. That is a promise, not a threat. You have many memories of things that have happened in this congregation, and some of you probably have a certain pastor that you remember with particular regard out there in that hall of pastors that's in the entryway. But it's a wonderful thing to remember and to have these memories of what has happened in this wonderful congregation. But today the prophet also says, new things I now declare, because this pastor and these people have never been together before. So this is something new in history. And you're being sent together by Jesus. Which brings us to the gospel. After this, the Lord appointed 70 others. Now, whenever you read that, don't you say, after what? I mean, something must have happened before. Not only that, but it says, after this, the Lord appointed 70 others, implying that he had what? What, Bruce? I mean, he must have appointed others before. Absolutely. I knew I could ask you because your picture is out there. So that's indeed true. Back in chapter 9, Jesus sent out the 12 disciples. Now, 12, is one of those special numbers in the Bible. 12 tribes of Israel and 12 disciples, 12 loaves of bread left over after feeding the 5,000. It's a kind of insider's number. I mean, some people might say, well, the 12, that represents the clergy. I think that's a loose interpretation. But it might be that we would think that the ones who were sent out first are the pastors. Here are the instructions that were given back in chapter 9. Take nothing for your journey, no staff, nor bag, nor bread, nor money. This is not a reference to pastors not being paid. It means they have left their money in the bank, and they shouldn't be carrying it on the road. But now, after sending out the 12, now here in this chapter, Jesus is sending out the 70. And again, these numbers have particular meaning. 70, the number 7, anything that's a multiple of 7 has to do with wholeness. We talk about the 7 seas, even though there probably are lots more seas than just 7, but it means we're talking about the whole world. And this is what Jesus is talking about here. Not only this little group, but I'm sending you out into the whole world, and so I need more. I need at least 70, but not just 70. I need the people that are going to follow through all the generations, which means everybody surely gathered here. Almost the same instructions. Carry no purse, no bag, no sandals, and greet no one on the road. Don't get distracted because you have a mission and it's very urgent. And then the instructions are here pretty specific. I love these instructions. They're for all of us, but particularly this day for Pastor Moore and the people of St. John's. Whatever house you enter, first say peace to this house. Evangelism does not begin with a threat. Think of it. There are schools of thought about evangelism that said you should grow churches by going to a house and knocking on the door, and when someone answers, you say to that person, if you die tonight, where will you be? That's a threat. Jesus didn't say that at all. Jesus says the first word is peace. Peace to this house. Peace to this house. It's a discipleship word. This is Christ's peace. It's not just our peace, so that when we share the peace, it's not just my peace. I'm going to have to share the peace with people I don't like so very much. People that I have disagreed with, right here. I mean, this is when we share the peace of Christ. We share the peace with persons whose race is different than ours. A gay person, a straight person, a person all dressed up formally, someone with torn jeans. We share the peace of Christ, and we practice sharing the peace in here so that we can share the peace out there. Peace to this house.